Computer. Good morning. This is Rebecca Lee from Maybe It's Mercury, and I'm here with Brittany O'Neill, who is a regular guest here. And Sandra didn't make it. This is the Friday morning crew, and Sandra hasn't shown up yet, so maybe she'll jump in. But this morning we decided to talk about supplements, which are so important for people who are dealing with these kind of toxicities, and the problems of these toxicities bring up mercury toxicity particularly. So we use a lot of supplements, and I was going to ask Brittany what her favorite supplement is for herself, because you're chelating too, aren't you?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And so what's the most important one for you, and what's been the most important one for your kids and their
Mhm.
issues? You sent me one
For
I liked a lot, the picture of it.
yeah, the neuro support is big for me. I feel like that, as an adult, having good neuro function is the most needed thing. I mean, at least in my opinion. I don't do much if I'm not cognitively in a good place. So I like all the big neuro. You want me to share them?
Sure,
Or
it's
you have
got
them?
phosphatidylserine and phosphatidylcholine in it.
Yeah, it has the alpha GPC, the
What's that?
tyrosine,
What's alpha
ginkgo.
GPC?
Alpha GPC is oh my goodness, it's a really long word that I can't see quite. Oh, it's a choline type supplement.
Okay, so it's stuff that gives your brain things to rebuild itself after being beat up. Is that right? The cell
Exactly.
membranes and so forth. Show us the
Exactly.
product again. It's called Gorilla something.
There we go.
Gorilla Mind Smooth. Wow, who makes that? It looks like something that, yeah. Where do you get that?
I get it on Amazon, and it's been great, and I just noticed on their website that they're going to change the formula on me.
Oh crap. They'll put alpha lipoic
They're
acid
going
in
to
it or
add the
something.
yeah, they're going to add all the B vitamins in, and I didn't look specifically, but I can't take certain, versions. I have to have them, some of them methylated. And so I may have to find another one. I emailed them. I'm like, how long? When's this transition? Because I'm going to need to buy several bottles so that I have time to find something else.
When my brother was starting to fall apart, he was working as a contractor, and he'd go to people's houses, and he told me that he used to draw lines with chalk on the sidewalk to be able to find his way back to his car.
Oh, man.
So I got him, one of my practitioners had recommended this product called Brain Vitality by Designs for Health. And that had all the same sort of things in it. And I gave it to my brother, and he claimed that, he suddenly could start finding his way around. Of course, his condition was degenerative, so it didn't last for long, but it was really helped a lot. But you're moving in the other direction than he was. He was
Yeah.
just getting worse, so you're getting better. So that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. I do like it with the phosphatidylserine. I don't know what they do together, but it's like your brain wakes up, like a different level of your brain wakes up.
You can get stuff out of storage much quicker.
Yeah, and the clarity is a lot like your mental reaction time is faster. There's no like sitting and thinking and remembering that small detail. Your brain just like moves faster.
Well, you always seem pretty sharp to me. Well, but maybe it's you have to be on the ball with your life.
Yes.
But
Yes,
for
yes,
me,
I
I'm
do.
75, so normal. It's normal for me to to have senior moments. I don't think senior moments are really that normal, but it's normal for it to take longer to get stuff out of storage.
Mhm.
I can't think of a name. I mean, Brian was saying the same thing. I think you can't think of a name, and then up, then all of a sudden it's there. It's just like you're pursuing it, but then it pops up eventually.
Yeah. But I mean, at 35, I shouldn't have those problems. So,
No,
so
you're
it's
35.
vital that
No.
yeah, yeah, these are really, really helpful. If only I could get my husband to take them, because he's can't remember anybody's birthday, date, anything, shake someone's hand and their name, and it's gone. Just like that.
I celebrated my daughter's birthday on the wrong day for like 15 years or 13 years or something.
Oh, goodness.
Mom! Another thing they get to hold against me.
Like, well, you could have two birthdays.
Yeah. So what about your kids? Well, I mean, I think that the main thing, I mean, in general, for people, probably the most important supplement, the one that packs the most punch for everybody is the adrenal cortex.
The adrenal cortex is big. The yeast support is really, really big. I feel like for kids, they don't have, their digestive systems are still developing and learning. And I mean, I feel like, to me, for children, all the behaviors and off issues, I mean, we know it's mercury, but I feel like so much of it is manifesting in the gut for children, and it's so outwardly presenting itself. And so having the right yeast supplements, and each child is different. I have my youngest one is phenol sensitive, so we're Pau de Arco only. And if you give him GSE, he's bright pink and he bounces off the walls, and it's wild. But other than yeast support, though, I think calming. These children tend to be more hyperactive. Like you could tell their minds are going a million miles an hour. So I
Yeah.
make sure I have all the calming supplements. We do
What do you
theanine,
use?
lemon balm. Theanine,
L-theanine and lemon balm.
yeah.
They
Those
work better for children than for adults. I mean, I take that stuff sometime and I feel zero, nothing from it. Yeah.
yeah.
But for
But they
children,
really,
they seem to be pretty powerful.
if you give them enough, yeah, they'll just, like, stop. Like, it's
How much is
like
enough? How many,
a break.
how many capsules do you give, for instance, of the L-theanine?
The little one can get up to 600 milligrams a day.
That would be like 6 of them.
I spread it throughout, or he takes everything by powders. So I just put it evenly throughout, everything he's going to take for the day. And I can tell when he doesn't have enough of the calming supplements. He's a little more aggressive towards me, doesn't want to participate, or he's impatient. So I can adjust accordingly based on his behavior.
You have to be so hyper sensitive. You become, like you're becoming a genius about bringing up these kids, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Oh,
What do
here
you
comes Sandy.
what are you using for the yeast killers?
For the little one, he gets Pau de Arco, and it works well. And then we do the Claire Labs probiotics at the end of the day. And I feel like if he missed the probiotics at the end of the day, he wakes up the next morning a little more yeasty than usual. So I know the probiotics are really working.
What does yeasty look like in this child to you? I think this is important information for parents because some of them don't have a clue. I've been in a restaurant and seen a child like jumping on the tables and climbing up the walls, and give that child some probiotics, or but nobody really knows.
Yeah, he if he's, a little more burdened than usual, he can be cranky, irritated. He'll wake up and not want to say good morning to you. He'll want to push you out of the way. Just more irritable, and I don't know what, like, the look on his face is just like discomfort.
Oh, like he's got a stomach ache, maybe.
But then he doesn't really have those issues either. So you can tell it's just like things aren't moving at the speed they're supposed to be, or there's extra going on. Yeah,
Yeah, I would think, if you describe that to me, I would think adrenals, but it's probably both at the same time too.
you do see in children, you do see the symptoms kind of overlap. What one person might think irritable or cranky looks like, might look adrenal or yeast. They really do kind of run each other over for children. Whereas adults, we think adrenal fatigue is very much just your adrenals, and you know, actual digestive issues is your yeast issues. And for children, they manifest into more symptoms, I think, that
So
are kind of hard to
you can't
separate.
get one without the other. They go hand in hand.
I really feel like they do. They do. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll like feed off of each other. If one's wrong, it'll take the other one down with it.
Well, I think it's the same for adults. I remember the monumental adrenal crash I had. I mean, when your adrenals crash, or get fatigued, your digestion stops working. It's almost as though we got to get some energy somewhere, so we're taking it from there.
Yeah, that's true.
No, they go hand in hand in adults too. So so you what do you use for the children? You have, I can't even remember how many children you have. Three, right?
Three.
Two,
Hmm.
three. What do you use for the other two when they have that are not phenol sensitive?
The older two use caprylic acid for now. They're pretty they're decent digestively compared to the little one.
Here's
So
Sandra.
caprylic acid seems to be enough without, wreaking havoc on their digestive. My oldest one has always had constipation issues, and so when we started, I think the first few rounds we did ACC, it instantly caused a reaction in the gut to change the way it was digesting, or whatever part of the digestive tract that was causing the constipation. It instantly changed it, and like within like a day or two, it just wanted to run regular.
With the caprylic acid, now that's derived from
No,
coconut.
back then it was GSE. I
Oh,
was using
coconut
GSE
seed
a long time
extract.
ago. Yeah, when I started with them, I was using only off the kids protocol, and GSC and Pouty Arco are like the first things we suggest over there. So we were all good there. And the GSC does work really well. I can find it can be a little harsh though. It might too much causes some discomfort in my children. So
So does the Pau de Arco work differently from I mean, GSC just kills stuff, right? Kills everything.
yeah.
Does the Pau de Arco, how does that work? Does it have a different way of working?
It's a lot more mellow. I mean, enough GSE will just wipe out what's going on in the gut, and probiotics are like an absolute must, or you'll start seeing almost like backward effects because you won't be repopulating, you'll be taking it all away. Pouty Arco's a lot calmer. We need more. Morning, Sandra.
I
Good
see.
morning. I'll interject when you're done.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna tell us about stuff too. Yeah.
I don't know how Pouty Arco works different to GSC. Sandra probably knows, but
I
from
think
what I was
it's
told, it's
totally
mellow.
ineffective. I've tried it for my oldest, and it was like, no, this isn't
Did
doing
nothing.
anything. What am I doing? We're like, we're sipping some herbal tea. Okay, all right, but it's not doing anything antifungal that I could tell. Where
Mm.
GSE, yes, it killed stuff, but it also made the phenolic issues worse. So I'm like, what am I to do? And I
You use
landed
it
on,
because
and
it
I even
doesn't make
brought it with
phenolic
me.
issues worse.
I brought my undeciclinic acid. That's the one I landed on with,
Right,
caprylic
right.
acid.
You like that.
Yeah, GABA, caprylic acid, and then the strongest is undeciclinic acid. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Undeciclinic acid.
I've got a bunch of that. Yeah. But
It works. I mean,
yeah,
it just
but I've switched over to Robert's atom bomb treatment, which is like, going heavy with the uh yeah, the
oil of oregano.
oil of oregano. Thank you. See, there's my brain trying to find oil of oregano. Yeah, oil of oregano, which is really powerful. I can only even take it in drop form. It's just,
It's
it's pretty,
similar to GSE as far as being a
yeah,
broad
but
spectrum
even more.
antimicrobial.
Yeah, and then you hit it with a lot of probiotics afterwards. Yeah.
Right, to kind of balance it out. That's why I like the different kinds of fatty acids where it's like you don't have to worry about it killing everything, the undecyclinic acid is specifically
For yeast.
anti-yeast. It does not interfere with the good bacteria in your gut. And yeast isn't a bacteria, so it's a totally different, it's very specific
And
for
so is the MCT oil, right? It
right.
works
It's
the same
along the
way
same
as the,
lines. Yes. Yes.
yeah, that because
Yes.
they're
Where
fatty
your
acids.
caprylic,
They're
that's where
they're,
your
they're
caprylic
oils.
acid. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they just have different lengths, chain lengths that, give them more strength, basically.
Yeah. That
Even
MCT
the
oil is like the coconut one, but even more powerful, right?
it's refined. I think it's usually typically today it's refined from coconut oil. Like it looks like a clear
Oh,
liquid
wow.
oil. It doesn't smell like coconut anymore. It's nothing like
Hold
the
on, I
solid
just
white
gotta.
thing. It's just a clear white refined oil, and I find yeah. And even I think the keto crowd will be kind of familiar with it as a quick source of energy.
The MCT oil for the keto crowd. Yeah, I think my daughter uses it. They put in their coffee.
Hey, whatever floats their boat. They may not know it, but they're helping their gut. They're keeping
Yeah,
the
yeah.
imbalance they may not have been aware of. They may be,
I
treating
think a lot
things
of
that,
people are helping their gut with things they're not aware of. They think they're detoxing mercury and they're actually just killing stuff off in their gut. The ones who
yeah,
take the
improving things,
zeolites.
making them
Yeah,
feel
that's what Andy
better.
thought. They say,
Hmm.
oh, miraculously better. My son can speak now because he took zeolites. Well, he actually just
Well,
killed
if I
a lot of yeast.
spend a couple $100 on something, I too want to believe that it's working.
That's true. There's that.
I
Yeah.
mean, the placebo effect is there, and when we're talking diet or this or that, and then I'm like, okay. I remember people asking about, can I chelate like my dog or something? And I'm like, we love them, right? We want them to be better. And then the whole thing of, oh, ALA isn't good for dogs. And
It's not.
and I think there's some brave souls who've tried it and like, you know what, my dog's doing okay, just a small dose or something. And I'm like, how do you do this every couple of hours though at night? Like you go up to your puppy and put it in their mouth,
People love their
probably.
dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the dogs, when we look
I
around,
think it's
the
just a
dogs have
sign of
anxiety disorder in our society. Yeah.
right, but
Look
the
out in the
dogs
street, the
that
dogs
live
are
with it,
cowering behind their owners. Yeah.
I think they're reflecting their owner's attitude a lot of times. Either they're
Yeah.
aggressive, fearful, aggressive when the owner's worried about, oh, my dog might bite you. It's a little dog, but they might bite you. Well, the dog's going to feel emboldened by your kind of meekness and not taking leadership. They just want to know who's in charge so they can fall in line in a pack thing. But I just think dogs in general, when we're looking at, they're getting cancer, they're getting heart disease, they're getting all the diseases of modernity and surplus calories, it seems, and a polluted environment that we do.
Toxicity. And,
So
and, and,
yeah,
and those
people want to
products that
treat them
must
sick.
not be named. I blame them for a lot.
I think for rabies a teeter is a good idea. Like, why does this need to
Yeah,
happen
that
every year
seems to
when I can
work, the
sign up
rabies
for it?
one. I mean, the stakes are really high with rabies. I mean, you're going to die if you get bitten by a rabbit.
Right. But it doesn't have to be a yearly one to get that little tag from your local community that, if ever your animal's picked up as a stray, they know at least they got the rabies vaccine. It's like, can we just check for teeters? Because they last several years typically in
Yeah.
in dogs,
So
from
it's
what I've
interesting
read.
that you say that that you couldn't use Powdarco because of the
I didn't
phenol,
do it. I mean, I gave it, but maybe I didn't give enough. I have no clue. I just thought
but
it
you got a phenol
ineffective.
reaction with it, and Brittany's saying that she uses
Less.
it because it doesn't give a phenol reaction.
Well, I didn't say it gives a phenol reaction. I just think it's
GSE gives the
ineffective.
feed.
Which gives okay,
The
okay. Yeah, but
GSE,
the Powdarco does not.
Howdy Arco's the option next if you have a phenol issue, you want to, in children at least. I mean, adults, we jump to other, strong things, but Pouty Arco is kind of where we push parents when the phenols are an issue.
Yeah.
I've heard some parents rave about it, and I'm like, I myself tried it. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think this is
Could be the
working. I don't
brand
know what
too,
it's doing, but it's
sometimes the
not
brand's
killing
important. What
me.
brand do you use, Brittany?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, it's something you can find at the health food store, but I do buy it on Amazon. But it's like the digestive is a unique system. You know, I upped his dose from 500 to 1,000 one day, and he went off the deep end. And Trusty and I are sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. She's like, okay, well, let's go backwards for a second and see what happened. And it was literally 250 milligrams too much. I backed him up just a little bit, and he was perfect.
The
So
powder.
it's a really unique experience, the digestive supports.
Yeah, and it changes all the time as you keep on chelating him. It's gonna you have to adjust everything all the time. So what worked, 2 weeks ago is gonna change as you move along detoxing this child. Yeah.
Especially with lead toxicity, lead always slows the gut. It hurts motility. So, when people start even just saying, oh, I'm taking, ALA, or my child is taking ALA, and all of a sudden they're going to the restroom all the time. It's like your body is actually finally moving at a more normal pace, maybe. Or
Exactly.
if you thought it was normal before, it might be a little bit more than you're used to because excuse me, your liver is actually mobilizing more bile courtesy of the ALA coming through there, and it's just pushing
Well,
out, like you're
the
pushing a
ALA
truck.
is an antioxidant for the liver, and it also helps it produce bile.
I know that for me personally, it feels almost like a laxative, and
Oh,
parents report this quite a few times from what I remember that, my child is going more often to the restroom. I thought they were regular before, but now it's like their body's eliminating more.
well, all
Some
the
sure, they even worry
naturopaths are
about
always going on
diarrhea.
about you need to be pooping, like 3 times a day, otherwise you're constipated. So, like every
It's
time.
whatever is my theory is it's whatever is normal to you. If once a
Yeah.
day is somebody's regular and it is consistent and they're not like impacted otherwise, because sometimes that can happen too. People think, oh my child's pooping every day, but really they're pooping around impaction, and then when they get like
Yeah.
imaging, it shows like megacolon because their colon's so stretched out because things weren't eliminated for so long. And it's like, you know what? Generally speaking, ALA can just increase your volume and frequency of poop, it seems like. I mean, that's just, starting out, if they're not
Mhm.
starting at tiny doses, there's a dose dependent effect. So, if they take 50 milligrams, yeah, they're going to feel it. If they're adults and say, oh, I'm going to go up to a higher level, yeah, they're going to feel it probably even when they just increase their dose, they'll have this again. I have the same thing. I get like the munchies with ALA. I'm like, okay, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm like,
Marijuana.
oh, my cells are burning more energy or something. And my body's like, give me back more energy right away. So
So, Brittany, what else are you using that you really like for your kids?
Mm.
Use the Thorn adrenal cortex. Everybody likes the Thorn.
that's a
Or you use the other
lifesaver.
ones. Yeah.
We are stuck on the Thorn right now. We've jumped between Thorn and Claire. In the dump, Claire was best for me, and as I was starting to come out, I jumped back to Thorn. We go through like if we are all chelating for the whole month, 4 rounds, we go through like 17 to 18 bottles of that stuff. So it's an absolute must.
That adds up. Yeah.
Now, explain why the Claire was better for you during the dump.
Yeah. Why was it better?
I people say we have everybody in the group has their opinion. Thorn works for me, Claire works for me. They're the same, but each one they're both the same, and they're both the same for the most part. I don't know what it is. Um, like right as the dump was starting to kick in, Thorn was just not doing it, so I jumped in and tried the Claire, and all of a sudden I was getting all the relief again. So I don't know what it is about them.
Hmm.
I don't know what the difference is.
It's not a difference in serving size of how much adrenal cortex extract is there.
You know what? Some people say that one, because the Claire is what, 250, and then Thorn is 50. And so some people are like, it's like 5 Thorn. And I'm like, for me, it's not. They are
No.
the
Right.
same. And so I'm going through
Different
way more
quality.
Claire than Thorn.
Yeah, yeah, milligram per milligram. Yeah, that's what we always found. That, I mean, that's sort of the common belief, is that the thorn is more is
Potent.
stronger. You get more, you get, per milligram, you get more oomph for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just bought a whole bunch more thorn. I'm sort of like them. Yeah. Yeah. What else do you use?
Theanine
Um,
was something that was really good for me before even chelating myself. I found it, I want to say, from my oldest, and I love it because it's anxiolytic. It dissolves anxiety without causing drowsiness or
Yeah,
sleepiness.
it's good
So
stuff.
in a
Yeah. But I
yeah.
don't notice it every time. L-theanine, right? We're talking about, yeah.
Mhm.
How much do you take? Are those little, I get the now kind. They're like 100.
100, 200. I've had different kinds, different strengths. Vitacost has one. I do like, in that case, actually.
Vitacost has a
Uh,
generic.
they have a generic, but they also have a suntheanine.
What's the
I've
difference
used
between
the doctor
suntheanine and
says
L-theanine anyway? Because the people who sell suntheanine say, "Oh, it's the only really good one." But I found that now
right. It's like
ones,
maybe it's
those little
more
now
pure.
ones,
I don't know.
they get me they work for me. Huh?
Yeah.
What's suntheanine? What is it supposed to be? What's
It's
different
it's
about it?
it's the trademark, like, I don't know if it's more purified or whatever, but like you're saying, L-theanine is your generic version. It's a
Yeah,
non-essential amino acid. You can drink your green tea if you like green tea. You get a little bit of theanine as well.
yeah,
Even black tea, I
that's the
think.
green
But yeah.
tea.
And if you need just that, an oomph where you're like, okay, I have a stressful thing coming up. I know it's going to happen. And if, it helps you get through it with a more positive experience without this anxiety that, will probably derail your performance more than anything. And otherwise, if you don't have
Yeah,
the
you're not going to
anxiety, you
wake up
can
messed
do
up
well.
the next day. Supplements are good that way, a lot of them. As Andy said, if there's something your body's used to seeing, because they're actually food, or they used to be. They weren't made from petroleum products.
Right.
Though I'd be dead several times over if it weren't for petroleum products. So I'm not gonna.
Right.
So
Medication. I mean, they have their place. It's just how much.
yeah, they have
I
their
don't,
place.
my
As
husband
do
asked
surgeons. God bless surgeons. Yeah.
when they could put you back together. Absolutely. Um, my husband, speaking of petroleum products, my husband yesterday had this. He's like, oh, I want red velvet cake. And I'm like, what is it about it that you like? Is it the taste? Is it the color? I hope it's not the color. I'm kind of teasing him. And I'm like, I'm not going to put red food dye in there. I don't even think I have any in the house. That's the petrol based, 2 drops will stain everything kind of thing. And I'm like, I'll try something else. I have some, probably, I don't know, pomegranate powder, something else I can pop in there.
So what was he
Raspberry
looking
jam.
for? I missed the beginning of this.
He just had a craving for the experience of eating red velvet cake.
Oh,
And
red
I'm like,
velvet cake.
oh,
Yeah.
where did you last eat it? Or where did you first eat it? I was trying to figure
It
out, like,
calls it
why.
calls for red food coloring.
Mm-hmm.
It's
There's
probably it's
cocoa in
probably
there.
isn't it made from little insects, the cochineal?
I don't know. I bet you
Probably
the cheap
okay.
stuff at the grocery store is petrol based too. I mean, because the cochineal, then you have the vegans coming after you because it's derived from animals. So it's like, okay, I'm
We're getting
thinking
encouraged to
berries,
eat bugs.
but the berry derived pigments probably break down more. Or maybe it turns purple. I don't know. I'll find out. And I told him last night, I'm like, I'll make you a velvet cake, like ingredients, but the color might not match your expectations. Like, we're just going for the feel of the cake and the, soft crumb and all that. But
Close your
I said, I'll
eyes.
make that.
Well, Brittany's got to go someplace.
Okay.
Oh, she's
I
going to drive
arrived
two and a
late.
half hours she's going to drive 2.5 hours with her little family in the car. I said, that's what iPads and phones are for, like.
Or playing what's this color? I see the color. We just played whatever the color or the letter, or you see a license plate from somewhere. We just play like I Spy.
At
I forget
12 and 15, they're like, just turn the Wi-Fi on, mom.
See, my phone, my car doesn't have Wi-Fi, so.
Well, just like just the hotspot on the cell phone, you can
Oh,
share your
okay.
internet with everybody else.
I
Yeah,
haven't tried
they say
that.
that.
And
Yeah,
It's
they
a
say
brave
that and
new
they're like
world.
done.
I
Yeah.
just insist on conversation or something. Or music. We're democratic about switching radio stations. Like you can pick for a while, and then I get to pick, and then you get to pick. And if I get a headache from the high BPM music, I'll be like, okay, mommy's got a headache. I need to drive. I need to be safe. Let's just switch it. Can we find something a little bit slower?
Yeah, their preferences on music are a whole lot different than mine, so it's definitely not a democracy if I'm driving really far.
Isn't it interesting as the children grow up to see them start to have interests in things that, have nothing to do with you, that are just completely alien. Like my granddaughter, it's that, she's into what's that super duper star right now? What's her name? I can't remember off the
Taylor
top.
Swift.
Yeah, that's the one. She thinks Taylor Swift is great. Yeah. I'm so fucking old.
I think she's a workhorse. She's been touring for how long on this world tour? And it's just like a phenomenon, She boosts
Yeah.
cities' economies just showing up. I'm
I'll
like,
have to
whoa.
watch her sing sometime and see what it's all about, why Lucy likes her so much. Yeah.
I think it's
Remember the
probably
Beatles
the
back in our
mass
day?
of
My
it
day anyway.
all.
People,
And the
people,
fact
People
that so
people
many people
worship her.
yeah,
People are like, they're to the point of they're like worshiping her. I'm like, I can't get with that.
yeah.
maybe this is what Elvis and the Beatles were like for your generation, Rebecca.
Well, Elvis was a little, I was really kind of young for Elvis. I'm not really that old, but the Beatles, yeah, the Beatles were right there, but I preferred the Rolling Stones myself. And they're still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're still rocking. I
It was
mean,
good music. Come on. And the Beatles were very,
yeah.
yeah, the Beatles, when I was a teenager, yeah, the Beatles were like, screaming
Beatles
teenagers and
mania.
people
I mean,
fainting
hysteric
and
teenage
mania and
girl.
everything. Yeah. That's an interesting phenomenon. Popular delusions and the madness of crowds.
Yeah, parasocial relationships and the fans thinking they're so close to these people. It's like this person doesn't know you from the other thousands of people out there.
Yeah.
I
And this
mean,
person isn't anything like what you think.
right. We put people on a pedestal if we admire them. Yeah, we're all humans.
Well, I'm gonna close this. Maybe it'll fit on my zip drive this time because we talk so long. Usually my zip drive refuses to take them. And thank you for coming on and Brittany, have a good day driving your children around for 2.5 hours.
Travels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.